Hi everybody, and welcome to today's video. This is Saturday and I hope that you are doing well. Today I'm going to give you an update because everybody has been asking about me and wondering what has happened to me because I was in the hospital last Sunday, and I'm going to have to go back and share with you all that's been taking place in my life because it all came to the one point of Sunday morning at 2 in the morning, and how everything is like a puzzle in life and all the missing pieces were starting to come together, and it took an ER emergency room visit to find out exactly what is going on in my life. What has been going on in my life? Well, I'm gonna have to take you back a little bit in order to share with you the present moment. This is the first video I've made since I'm home from the hospital, and I want to thank you guys so much for all your prayers and all your concern, because I'm a person that is in really good health, and when something happens in your life really suddenly, it is very scary. But when I look back on all of the weeks and months that led up to this, I realize now all these things that were happening in my life were because of one problem, and that problem was something that was easily fixed. But it took a while for the doctors and everyone to figure out what the problem was. First thing I'm gonna say is a disclaimer: I'm not a doctor or nurse. I'm only explaining what has happened to me. And the reason why I'm doing all that is because I think that if somebody else hears my story and sees what I've gone through, maybe it can help them. And maybe it can help lessen their suffering in their life because they don't go to the doctor. The other thing I want to say is this video is not for everyone. And so if you don't want to hear about medical things, or you don't want to hear about stuff like that, you don't want to watch this video. Now, I understand what I say goes out in the public, and so I'm going to really generalize a lot of the things that happened to me. I'm not going to be very specific in certain areas because some people just don't want to hear about that, you know, too much information. So I'm going to be more generalized, and I'm going to be more, I'm not going to share all the gory details, but I want to share with you enough that you understand what has been going on in my life, because people wondered, people asked questions, and I want to share with people because I think in doing so, it helps so many people out. Hindsight is 2020. So if I would have watched a video of somebody sharing what I'm going to share, it would have saved me a lot of heartache. And so here we go. I think it started 3 months ago. I got to go back on the video because I'm not sure how long ago it was. My life has been a whirlwind in the last 3 months. Now you would say, well, I'm making videos and I look fine. Yes, there were periods every single day of my life that I felt good. But in that same 24 hours, I went from feeling awful to feeling okay to feeling awful. My symptoms were so strange and so unusual, it just really confused me. About 3 months ago, I did a video and I was crying and I looked horrible. My weight was extremely high, and I will share that video up here and at the end of this video because that's when it all started. I had vertigo and I honestly thought I had a stroke. I thought I had a stroke. I felt so poorly, so dizzy. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And that was the start of just all these things that were starting to happen in my life. And then I had a tooth removed because it was infected, and I thought that was the problem. I really did. But after the tooth was removed, I still was sick. So I want to share with you my symptoms because my symptoms are classical for what was wrong with me. So I would have all of these symptoms. The anxiety was off the charts. I had panic attacks and anxiety, and it came out of the blue. I always thought, well, my parents died, so that was part of it, and I explained away all of these things, and I realized that my anxiety was the first symptom of a physical problem I had. And so I had anxiety. That was the first thing. Then I developed another problem, which is something that people probably don't want to hear about. So I will just say it was a woman issue. And it was a woman issue on a daily, all-day basis. And I'm not gonna say no more. I think most of you can get the idea. That was alarming in itself because that lasted months. And so that was alarming. I still didn't go to the doctor. Then I had severe pain and nausea. The nausea was the most horrible feeling I have ever felt. So I was nauseated every morning, just like if I was pregnant. It was nausea about food. Then I felt pretty good in the afternoon, and then it hit me with nausea again in the evening. Every evening at 6 p.m., I became extremely nauseated, lightheaded, and I just felt awful, awful. Then it would go away for a while. That lasted months. Now, I'm not against going to the doctor, but I knew it would be very expensive, and I always just, you know, well, it's gonna go away. I'm not the kind of person that goes to the doctor often. Well, I don't need to. Generally, I don't need to. But this is a wake-up call, because going to the doctor is extremely important. If I would have went to the doctor right away, I would have saved all of that suffering. And it was my fault. So we went on with the nausea. Then we had diarrhea, stomach cramps. Oh, pain, like labor pains, I would get them. And in the middle of the night, it was always worse. Awful, awful. And I was losing weight. Now, my weight loss isn't because of all of that, but my weight loss, this all started when I started losing weight. And so I was really not eating as much. Now, yes, this probably contributed to some of my weight loss. I was making an effort. I was making a big effort not to eat a whole lot. And so there were times in the day where I felt fine. Like, I made videos and I felt fine. But then all of a sudden it would get really bad again, and it would go up and down and up and down. And it was like, I kept thinking, okay, well, obviously it's nothing major because I get better. Because normally when you have something that is major, it stays bad. So in a day-to-day course, it would go good, bad, good, bad. That brings me to Sunday. Sunday, I woke up at 1 a.m. and I just felt awful. I was dizzy, severe pain, like labor pains and other issues. And I sat on the edge of the bed and my husband said, "Are you all right?" And I just said, "I'm not." I said, "I am so tired of this. I am so tired of dealing with this, whatever this was." He said, "Do you want to wait till 6 a.m.? And I said, "You know, let's just go. Let's just go and get it over with." At the time, I had fear. I knew of a YouTuber who went to the hospital thinking it was something minor. She never came home and she passed away. And that was always in the back of my mind, you know, what happens if this is something severe? You know, a lot of the symptoms I have are symptoms of cancer. And I was fearful. I was fearful. But, you know, I prayed about it and I said, "You know what, Lord, whatever it is, it is." So we went to the emergency room and we waited for hours. And as we waited, I was getting worse and worse and worse. I got so weak, I could barely walk. Finally, we got in there and the doctor looked at me and he said, "I think I know exactly what's wrong with you." I explained to him my symptoms, but he said, "We got to do a lot of tests because we want to make sure you don't have any tumors or any cancer, because what I'm going to prescribe to you could really make things worse if it's cancer or something like that." So I was in there for more hours and had all kinds of tests, all kinds of ultrasounds, internally and externally. I had blood work done. I had all kinds of tests. They checked everything. It was like going into a car mechanic and they put you on that platform and they check everything out. "Your blood work is great, Tessie." But I was lacking one hormone. I was lacking one hormone, and that hormone turned my world upside down. And so he prescribed progesterone. Now, I'm probably not pronouncing it right. Progesterone, and I'll spell it here so you can see. Now what that is, it's a hormone, and that even men have that hormone in a really small dose, but it was extremely low. And that meant, because it was so low, all kinds of things were happening in me. And that was causing my pain. That was causing diarrhea. That was causing me, nauseated. That was causing my anxiety. that was causing all of these things that were way off the charts. But I want to tell you, after the first 24 hours of taking it, it was like day and night. The anxiety was gone, the nervousness, the shakiness was gone, my nausea is gone, my other issues that are, you know, kind of yucky are gone. All of these things are gone, and that's all it took. And I wanted to explain with you because I did a lot of videos on anxiety, and I did a lot of videos on, you know, panic attacks. But one thing I didn't really share, and I'm going to share with you the article below in my description box, is sometimes we can get anxiety and panic attacks as a precursor to something that is physically wrong. And so when I thought I was passing kidney stones, because that is what we all thought it was, it wasn't. It was all of this hormone. The lack of it. And sometimes when we have anxiety and panic attacks and it comes out of the blue, sometimes it's physical. And sometimes it's your body saying, wait a minute, there's something really, really wrong here. And I just chalked it up to emotional, you know, this and that. And it really, I believe in this case, most of it wasn't that. You know, I'm not saying, you know, the death of my parents didn't cause me anxiety, because it did. But I'm saying the extreme case of it, where you just felt like you were spiraling out of control and you were shaky and chills and all of that. Keep a lookout on your body and know your body, because sometimes a blood test can determine things. And so they determined in my blood test that I was really low in hormone, and my thyroid is overactive, which it's been overactive. But sometimes it's something simple. I'm praying that after these 5 days of this tiny, tiny little pill, the tiny little pill that changed my life, I'm hoping that I can go on. And he said, yes, he believes that once the 5 days are over, the way he can see how everything is with me, that it will put me into a menopausal state for real, and I can go my merrily way after that. And the way it appears, it's working that way, because everything about me was good. And that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of having tumors, because I did have tumors back in 2014 when I hemorrhaged. And I was starting to hemorrhage again, but it wasn't anything of that. It was something that was because the hormones. Our bodies are so beautifully and wonderfully made. It is amazing how our bodies are made. Our bodies are made like a fine oiled machine. And the problem is, when that machine has a missing link in it, then the whole machine doesn't work right. And our bodies are that way. Now I'm more in tuned. I'm so more in tuned of my body. And I'm still losing weight, and I will continue to lose weight, because I realize that that is where I need to be. And food to me isn't as important. And all of the things I talked about food is true. You know, I used food to comfort me, and I no longer do that. When somebody would make a comment to me that was very derogatory or very unkind, I would eat that feeling. And I have so many things I want to share with all of you, because God has been showing me a lot of things in my life where I was dealing with it the wrong way. I was looking about it in a victim towards way, like I was being a victim, and I'm a victor, because nobody can do anything to you unless you allow that. And so over that time when my hormones and things were going out of whack, and I want to also say progesterone can be lowered by stress as well. So if you're under a lot of constant stress, that can lower your hormone progesterone. And for me, I think that was part of it, but I think it was a lot of things. And that is where I'm at. That is what happened to me on Sunday. And that was the first time I've been to an ER since 2014. And they were so nice there. I go to Hershey Medical Center, and I love going there because they're very kind there, and they've always been very supportive to me. And I don't need to go back unless I have issues. And I'm really going to watch my way I handle stress, and I'm going to watch the way I handle food, and just the way I handled life. This has really made me wake up and think, okay, we need to just relax a little bit and not be so worried about what all I gotta do, how I gotta do it. Take life as it comes. And sometimes our bodies give us those warnings. It's like a light inside, and it's like blinking. It's giving you the warning, and you just don't see the warning because you're so busy with life that it takes a wake-up call early in the morning on a Sunday morning to say, wait a minute, if you're not gonna listen, then I'm gonna make you listen. And I kept thinking about the YouTuber who was a woman in her 40s and how she went to the hospital thinking it was something minor, and it turned out to be something that took her life. And I thought about that laying there, and I kept thinking about that, you know, how blessed, utterly blessed I am to be able to have gone and to have them check me out and to know that it wasn't cancer and have them tell me that this is what you need to do. And it made me appreciate life just so much better. And it made me appreciate all of you just so much better because you all were praying for me. And I thank you for that. You know, you were all praying for me. In my community tab, I told people, you know, I wasn't feeling well. And I don't keep those posts up. I only did them quickly to get people, if they see it, to pray for me and different things that are urgent. And so I really don't use it other than for a few things. But you were all praying for me, and you were all there for me. And you're like, Tessie, don't worry about your videos. And thankfully, I had all those videos made. And you're going to see in the weeks to come that I'm going to be looking a lot different. My weight loss is a lot more and more and more. I've lost now over 40 pounds since I did get weighed, and my blood pressure is really good, and my blood work is pretty good. I mean, my blood work is perfect except for my thyroid, which is a little high, which is not a big deal. They said it wasn't much. So now I can enjoy life and take it slower and not quite work so heavy hard, you know, lifting heavy weights and working so heavy. I realize I'm 51 years old, and if I want my body to last for another how many years, I would like to live to be 100 yet. I would love that, but you know, I can't dictate how long I'm gonna live, but that means I gotta take care of my body. But I wanted to just say one more time, be in tune with your body. If something doesn't feel right, just go to the doctor. We can't let fear of the doctor overrule us, because so many times people wait till it's too late. And so many times that people would go to the doctor right away, it would save them so much heartache and save their life. I believe in doing things the natural way, but sometimes in life you have to go to the doctor. Now, what would have happened if I didn't go? I would have continued to get worse and worse and worse. It wouldn't have gone away. The doctor said it wouldn't go away. I would become very anemic, and then it would have affected my kidneys. It would have affected my liver. It would have affected my pancreas. I would have had to have a blood transfusion. I would have had to have all kinds of things. And it was getting very close to that point. And so, go to the doctor. Don't be fearful. God did not give you fear. If you have fear of something, you need to rebuke that fear, because that fear is keeping you. It's keeping you from finding health and strength. And I'm so thankful that I did decide finally that I just had enough, and I had to go. No matter what the outcome was going to be, I had to go, and I had to find out what was wrong with me all these months. And people were seeing it and were saying it. Did you have a stroke? You know, you don't talk, you slur, and all these things. And it was just simply because I was getting weaker and weaker. And even though I'm not at the other end of the tunnel yet, I'm feeling so much better, and I'm feeling good all day and all night. So I don't have those pockets of just feeling awful anymore. It's amazing when your body is lacking something, how quick your body can regain when it has exactly what it needs. And they're thinking because it's a strong medication and because of the side effects of cancer and stuff, they're only giving me a small portion of it because it's what my body needs. And so once my body gets what it needs, we won't be using it anymore. But there you go, everybody. My videos are current now. I know the last week, some of my videos weren't current up until like a couple weeks ago. My videos are always within 3 weeks. So my videos are they're never older than 3 weeks. But last week there was 2 videos that were about 3 weeks old. And that was so nice because I knew I didn't have to worry about anything else. They were already up and loaded. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to rant. And just be careful when you do things and take things and make sure your body needs them. I really want to put that point across that don't ever put your body in your own hands. Make sure you know what you need to do. Don't just try to medicate yourself because it can be very detrimental to your health. And don't wait. Don't wait. You know when something's just not right. Go to that doctor and get checked out and find new health again. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you guys so much for your prayers. Tessie is back. And that's a promise. Bye, everybody.